Hello, I'm Tony Clifford.
And I'm John Brake.
And we're going to teach you on how to set up the voting equipment for your next election.
We'll start with the booth. These will already be at your precinct when you get there. You'll walk in the morning and you're going to see all of this equipment that is delivered the night before. That's right, we'll start blue side up. There's a Velcro latch here at the top. It folds out like so. You'll see that the bottom is a flap that is going to create your desktop. You bring that up. There's latches here, and also little eyes for the latches to latch into. Drop that down. Go underneath and latch. Give it a little test to make sure that it's nice and sturdy. And that is the first component. And then you're ready for your printer. Tony's going to bring over.
All right. Just set your printer down, open it up. Take your printer out and turn it backwards. Get your cables.
You also have cords with the bag, right?
You'll have color-coded connections. So you'll see a blue connector here and a blue indicator here. Your next set of connections, you'll have a blue connector here and a blue strip here. Plug those two in. Now you can turn it back around. Get your tray.
Remove the carrying case here, get it out of the way because you're not gonna see it again until 7 o'clock that evening.
Take your paper and load it in the tray.
As you're setting up, you'll also want to be very mindful of where the electric outlets are because everything has to get plugged into an electric outlet. You'll have these little, I call them the wagon wheel, that will be several of them at your precinct to accommodate all your needs. So get that ready for your cords.
Here's your tablet. You'll notice it has a left and a right. This is the top. When you go back to put this back in, you'll make sure that you put the left side on the left side, the right side on the right side. Open this up. Take your cord from these and put that away.
Again, stow this away.
Here's your power cord. You'll plug green, and there's one spot on here that's green. It's a little color-coded strip. Then this one will get plugged into the back down in one of the holes.
Drop that printer too. Yep.
Run your printer cord down one of the holes in the table. Plug both of those in. And then you still have the one cord coming off your printer that you hook to your printer. It's color coded with red. And there's one strip here that's red. Now turn it back around. And we're ready to turn on the machine. First thing you want to do is turn on your printer. Printer button's located right here.
You have flashing lights on the display, and as soon as you get the solid green, it will even tell you that it's ready to go.
It'll say ready.
There we go. And then you get back to this guy. There's a puffy black button that is right below the green cord where you just plugged in, between the green and the red, and you just punch that once. You'll see a green light will come on. Spin it back around, you hear a beep, and it starts booting up.
There's a little button here, a little box that says use by default, yes. And the machine is turned on.
We're ready to open the polls. Should we do that now?
Yes.
You have a poll worker card that your precinct captain will give you when you first come in. So you will just insert that at an angle. You'll get the login screen.
And you'll punch in your code. It will be different at every election.
The same code will work for every machine that day that you are voting people.
It's also going to ask you to confirm the time and date. You're just going to make sure that the time and date is correct on the screen, and you'll push confirm. Next, you're going to open the poll, so it says close poll. It's going to say open poll. We're going to push open. You're going to say yes. And the machine is now open and ready to go.
Remove your card. You are now ready to vote voters on this machine. And again, it's helpful to remember that the voting is now a three-step process. You are going to approach the booth, you're going to make your selections on the tablet, you're going to print them on the printer, and then you're going to take them to the scanner where your votes are actually cast. And we'll show you that component in a minute. But this part of it is ready to go. You are ready for voters at this point.
Okay, let's move everything this way. And here's the scanner. This is where all the votes will actually be stored. You'll have a couple of tabs on your machine located right here. We're going to take this one off. You have another one that would be on this side, and we'll take this one off. Then you've got locks.
That are built onto the... The tabs are there so to assure you that the machine has not been tampered with since it left headquarters. It's just to let you know that it is ready to go. You take the key lock, which you will also be given by your precinct captain with your poll worker card. The little brass key on here will open every lock like we just demonstrated, including the ones we haven't demonstrated. You see that it's a free floating and it's very easy to do. Again, be mindful of where your electric cords are. When you get it where you want it, lock it down.
And it's pretty well stationary.
Very secure. If someone should fall or lean onto it, it's not going to go anywhere.
We're going to show you the compartments, all the compartments. I'm going to undo the locks. You have the compartment for all your ballots. There's a place in here that you need to check to make sure it doesn't have anything in it. And you'll close that back up. You can close this up.
After checking that in the morning, you're not going to open that anymore for the rest of the day. That is where the actual paper ballots, as they are scanned, they fall in there. That needs to stay secure after you check it in the morning.
This is the emergency ballot box. What this is going to be used for, you want to check it here and make sure there's nothing in it before you start your election. Lock it back up. If something happens to this equipment, the scanner, during the process of the election, you will notify us at the voter's office, and in the meantime, you won't be able to use this machine. You will open this door, open this little slot, lock this back, and people will be allowed to drop their ballot into here until we get this back in operation again. So when we get there, we will open this up, take all the ballots out, close this little slot up, and we will feed them in to the machine so they'll count.
We do this very publicly. This is something that we do right in front of everybody so that everyone feels very confident that the votes have been cast and counted properly.
All right, so now it's locked back up. It's secured again in case something was to happen to it again later on during your voting process.
So next we want to power the machine up, and this is a very simple process. There's a panel here that has a little compartment where the actual electric cord is. And this does run off electricity.
And then there's a little notch for it to go in. And then close this back. Now you can turn this around so we can see it.
And with all the high-tech gadgetry that is with this new equipment, the way to turn it on is simply to plug it in.
There's no on-off switch on this machine. As soon as he plugs this in, the machine's going to come on. I've latched it down so it can't go anywhere.
This little screen here is your best friend while you're setting this guy up, and you can see now that it has just illuminated. It is running through the process, and it will cue you with beeps at certain points along the way to get it up and running.
So the first thing right now, we're going to wait. If you have the handout, you'll see step by step each one of these screens that we are looking at. You'll have a handout that would show that.
One of the first things it's going to ask for is the security key to be placed, and then you're going to have to enter a password. It will be the same password as the election, I believe, right?
Yes. The next thing it's going to show up is it's going to ask you if this is the correct time and date. You're just going to verify it, and you're going to push yes. It's going to go through a couple of tests. It's telling you what it's doing. It's testing this display. It's going to test this printer. It's going to test several different modules inside this to make sure everything's correct before it'll let you start your election. It'll ask you if you want to open the poll. We want to open the poll. Again, you're going to have to punch in your code.
And it will print a zero tape.
It'll automatically print it before you can start. It asks you if you want to print another one. We're going to say no. You'll now want to sign both copies of this, and you'll want to put it in the bank bag. You are now ready to start voting at your precinct. We're going to demonstrate the process of voting on the machine and casting your ballot. Okay, let's slide this.
But this again was the end of the first phase of your three-part day. This is the before voting part. All of this has to be done by 7 a.m. And it's good to divide and conquer, as they say. Play to people's strengths. Let some folks set up the booths. Let some folks deal with the scanner. It all has to be done by 7 a.m.
And not in any sequential order.
Okay, the first voter comes in. They check in at the registration desk. They show their voter ID. They show their picture ID. They are given this piece of paper telling them where to vote. That this is what they bring to the poll worker. So I have already done that, and I'm giving this to Tony to vote me.
So I will look on here and find out what I'm supposed to enter in. I'll put in my poll worker card, enter in my code that only works for this election.
Ballot activation.
Ballot activation. I'll punch in that code and hit activate. I'll then remove my poll worker card and have the voter vote.
You can see that the ballot has come up. You can see the seal of the state of Tennessee. You can see the information at the top of the ballot, and then there's the next button. So you ask the voter if this looks right to them. They'll say yes. Then you hit the next button and you step away and give them as much privacy as possible.
Now here's where they'll vote. And when you're done, you will review your screen. You can scroll up and down. When you're ready, you push print ballot.
This will be another opportunity to review your choices. Everything is printed out right here. It tells you that the race, and it tells you that the candidate that you have selected. You double check that to make sure you are voting for who you want to vote for. You like your choices, you walk up to the machine, to the scanner. You look at the screen, it says system ready. It's showing you arrows, showing how the paper feeds in. It can feed in top side up, bottom, face down, and top bottom. It can go in those 4 different ways. Tells you processing ballot, please wait. Tells you casting ballot. You'll actually hear a click, and it says ballot successfully cast. You have voted. You get your sticker, and you go out the door.
This is the whole process, everything from start to finishing on setting up the voter stations for your next election. We're going to show you a few things that are troubleshooting to hopefully prevent some of the problems that have occurred in other elections. The first one is when somebody comes up and gets their ballot form and they go to put it in, they hold on to it too long. As it snatches it, they still hold it on one end and it goes in crooked and it crumbles it up and it can stop the machine from scanning from then on. So you want to make sure that you tell people just release it when it goes in. The other thing is somebody will come up and they'll put theirs in, and while theirs is going in, they will move out of the way and another person will come up and try to put theirs in right behind it. Until this scans and says it's ready for the next one, you can't put another one in. So you want to make sure that the people stay far enough away that you can stop them if somebody puts it in and walks away, that the next person doesn't put theirs in until the first one has been processed all the way through. Anything else?
There's a little bit of a gap there after you cast the first ballot and it says ballot successfully cast, and before the system is ready again, and that's the gap we're trying to address right here. So just again, have people step back, listen to that beep, listen to the click, and then invite the next voter up to cast their ballot.
All right, next we're going to show you how to shut down all the equipment.
Yes. So the day of voting is over, the final voter has left, it's after 7 o'clock, you're ready to shut everything down. Again, the steps that we're going to show you are going to be kind of not necessarily in the order that they need to be done. All of this has to be done after 7 p.m.
And there's no specific order at which it needs to be done. So somebody can be shutting down the scanner while somebody else shuts down the machines. You can shut down all the machines at one time if you've got several people. So don't think you have to start here and then go here. You can start anywhere you want to. We're going to start on the scanner. You're going to put your security key back in. It asks you on the screen if you want to close the poll. It asks us to enter in our password.
Yes.
It asks you if you're certain you want to close the poll. And it says it's closing the poll.
The machine is now printing out 3 copies of the results tape. This is the actual number of ballots that were cast in this machine during this election. and it's arranged by candidate.
So what you're going to do is wait till you see the signature lines, and then you can tear it off. The first one, you're going to have 3 people sign it. You're going to put it on the inside door or window of your precinct.
For public display, people can come up and see how many votes were cast for which candidates at that precinct.
The next 2, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to tear them off. You're going to sign both sets of copies with 3 people's signatures. And these are going in the bank bag or your security bag that you'll have, that all your important information is going to be on. All right. Next, it will ask you if you want to print another one, if you made any kind of mistake, or the paper jammed or ran out of paper or anything. You're able right now to get it fixed and then press that you need another one. But we don't need another one, so it says, do you want another copy? We're going to say no. Then we're going to say power down. Are you sure you want to? Yes. And in a few seconds, it'll shut down. Okay. The next step is you're going to have to take this card out of the machine, of the poll worker. Before you do that, you want to make sure that you unplug this. That ensures that you have powered this machine down. Do not open this door to the poll worker card until you have powered completely down. So you're going to break the tab. You're going to open it up. You're going to push a little button that's on the side of the card, and you're going to remove this card. All the votes, every image for every ballot that was scanned, and all the tabulations for everyone's voting is all resting on this one card. You want to take this card and you want to put it in the bank bag along with the 2 copies that you have. So all 3 of these go in the bank bag. You close this back up.
Stow away your cord.
We can now put the cover back on the machine. It only goes on one way.
You'll notice that there's 1 tab on this side and 2 tabs on the other. That will help you keep it lined up and done correctly. There's also some flexibility. The thing likes to kind of sit on top of the lip here. So you just kind of pick it up and push it in. Make sure you're nice and inside the groove all the way around.
Now you want to lock these doors here. And if John will lock the other one, you will have...
You'll be provided with some security tabs that, in addition to the key locks,
you're going to want to put a tab here. You're going to want to put another tab here. And then you're going to put a tab here. It's important that you put one here because all of your ballots are stored in this machine. If somebody had a key and could unlock this, we'd have no evidence of whether or not somebody had been in it or not. This tab lets everyone know that no one, even with the key, has gotten into this machine. Okay?
and again, this compartment is where the actual paper ballots are. I'm not sure if we mentioned that earlier, but when you feed them into the scanner, they drop down into this chamber right here. So we have that is your paper trail. Those are the actual ballots. They can be recounted as many times as necessary in the event that something should go sideways with the flashcards.
All right, roll that out of the way.
Again, this can all be done simultaneously while somebody or two people or three people are stowing away the the scanner. Other people can be breaking down the equipment here.
All right.
The goal here is that you want to leave it exactly like you found it. When you leave at 7:20 in the evening, you want the bags everything back in their carrying compartments. You want it pushed back to where you found it that morning, so the delivery people can pick it up the next day.
All right, we're going to shut these down now. You want to take your poll worker card, insert it, punch in your code. You want to go to admin menu, and there's a big button that says close the poll. We're going to push close the poll. It asks you if you're sure. Yes, we are. Push the power button. Say yes, you want to power down. And now that's powered down. This one, all you have to do to it is just push the power button and it will start shutting down.
Then you get your carrying cases, and you basically do a reverse steps of what you did that morning. Again, be mindful of your left and right positions. There's really one way to put the tabulator back into the case, and we have marked that for you.
So we want to unplug your cords. Close this up. This is the top.
There's a little handle here in the back showing that makes it very easy to manipulate this machine and very securely.
So you want to put the right side on the right side on the front. Left side to the left side. And then remember the cord that you had. Remember your tablet only had one cord. Got too many cords. So take your power cord, put back inside here. Just go on either side of the case. Don't put it on top of here. Put it on the side. Then close this up. And then you can put it away.
Do the same thing, same procedure with your printer case here. A couple of Velcro straps to keep this guy secure while he's moving. You get your cords together.
Set this down in here. Strap it down.
Cords.
Zip it up. Unlatch your two latches. Bring this down. Close this one. Then this one. Velcro this where it won't open back up. And put it away.
And then high five each other. You've done a good job.
The process now is to set up an ADA machine with a power backup, and we're going to show you how to do it.
All right, an important component to the ADA machine is to have the power supply backup. And this is something, it's a safety precaution in case electricity should go out during the election. And what you want to do is, when you're doing the ADA configuration, take your power pack, plug it into your power source,
Turn it on.
turn it on, and then plug your printer only into the back of this power pack.
Do not plug in your computer, your tablet. Do not plug in your tablet or anything else. Do not plug two printers into this backup. Only one. You only want to make sure that the one printer has got power if the power goes out. So what that means is if we're in the dark, there's only one machine you'll be able to use. Yes, this will stay powered up on all your other machines, but you won't be able to print off of them. So this is the only machine you'll be able to use if the power goes out.
And you can still cast your ballots. Always be able to cast your ballots.
Now we'll show you and demonstrate how to do the ADA.
And regardless of the number of machines and booths you have at your super center or your vote center precinct, you will have to have at least one of these done the way we're getting ready to show you. And it will come, it will be mixed in with the other machines, so you're not going to be sure which one it is until you open it up. So again, you just open up as usual, and you will see right away that there's the ADA kit that is attached to one of the tabulators. It is attached in the back, and it is behind a panel that will be locked with one of these little seals.
You will pull it out and you will set it up the exact same way, plugging in your power supply and plugging the printer in just as before. The only difference is you'll have this bag that has your headphone sets and your equipment for an ADA. Most of the time you will just take this, leave it in the bag. It's already connected in the back. All you have to do is set this over to the side or in the back.
You put your power cords and supply cords in like you would, like we've already shown.
So red goes to red. This is coming from your printer. This is coming to power.
Green
Tablet,
to green.
Green to green. All right, and then turn it around. You'll power up your printer just like you would before. Ready, wait for it to say it is ready. All right, it says ready. So we can now push the power cord just like the power button like we did before. All right, we'll check the checkbox off. We'll put in our card.
We're going to open the poll.
Going to confirm. Open the poll. Yes. Now we're open.
Okay, now let's say a sight impaired person comes to vote and needs the ADA equipment. As a poll worker, you will check their sheet, make sure that you're going to pull up all the right information, and you will make this available.
So on the screen, this is what you'll do. You'll insert your card like you always do. You'll punch in your security code, ballot activation. But now what you want to do is enable the AVS controller. Click that along with putting in their voter number and then push activate. It's going to bring up a screen and you're going to push the first one, which is ATI. There's a little drawing of it that matches this. You'll push that. It gives you an instruction screen on all the buttons.
And there's headphones as well that will be giving instruction to the voter.
Now you can pull this out. They can put the headphone set on and they will use these buttons now instead of the screen if they need to. If they are visually impaired, they can feel it. There's braille and the buttons have texture to them so they can go through and vote all on this. As soon as they're done voting on this and they've cast they've printed their ballot off, this machine will revert back to a regular machine. So the next time you put this in, you will not have to change it and turn that off. It will automatically turn itself off.
All of the options that you would have on the screen for a sighted person are available through this ADI for someone who is vision impaired.
And they will get the exact same type of ballot. So there it is. And then it will escort them over to where they will put it in the scanner, just like any other. All right?